In today's session, we'll be looking at communication skills. As you see, you have two words here. One is communication, another one is skills. And it is no secret that everyone talks about good communication skills or a key for a bright future or for career enhancement. So, what does the word exactly to communicate means? Communicate means to transfer or to pass on information or message to another person. And we are in a modern era where communication skills are given topmost priority. They open the doors of opportunities. So, in today's session, let us try to see what communication processes and how we can effectively develop communication skills. So let's get started. In order to have a communication, in order to communicate, at least we need two people, isn't it? We need a sender and we need a receiver. And to send information or to send message, we need a medium. Now, say suppose A wants to communicate a message to B. Who is communicating? A is communicating. So A becomes the sender and B becomes the receiver. How will he communicate? He will use a message, and message should be in the form of a language. Now the medium of communication will be the language. So communication process remains same irrespective of any language you take. At least you need two people and you need a medium. You need a language to exchange the information. Okay. Now, how does this exchange process happens? Means like when, like for example, if let us take A and B. A wants to communicate something to B. So what will he do? Whatever the message, whatever the thought A has got in his mind, he will encode it in a language. Once he will take the help of sounds. He changes his thought process into sounds and converts into a message and sends it to B, where B happens to be the receiver. Now, what does B do? B listens to the sounds and decodes those sounds and understands what's the message that was sent by A. So here we need two people. One is a sender who will code the message, okay, will code the message in using a specific language and passes it on to the receiver. Upon receiving the message, the receiver decodes the message. So this is a simple process of communication. Now, always will it be only this only this four aspects there: sender, receiver, message, coding, and decoding? Is there anything other than that ones? Yes. So should be a feedback system, a feedback from sender to receiver and receiver to sender. Again, it's a two-way process. Now, say A has communicated some message to B. So if B understands the message, then he will do the work, or whatever A has asked, he will give a reply. Now, if say B did not understand what A was trying to communicate, then he will give you a feedback. Okay, so feedback system ensures effective communication process. Whenever a message is sent, message has to be crystal clear. There should not be any ambiguity, any confusion, and the words selected in the message should be crystal clear so that the receiver understands what A is trying to say. So, as I told you, feedback is a two-way process. Feedback is the input which the sender gives to the which the receiver gives to the sender, whether the message was understood or not. Okay. Now, till here fine, but sometimes there may be an external noise. Now noise here is also referred as barrier, communication barriers. Now what can be communication barriers? Now say suppose uh, someone is waiting, someone has gone to a restaurant, he has ordered food. Okay, in the meantime, he called and he got an emergency call from his boss. While his boss was talking to this person, suddenly there was a big noise in the restaurant. Now, that noise is a communication barrier. Because of that, we may miss the information. Now, noise can affect at any level. Okay, noise can be from the sender side, it can be in the language, when the language is delivered, when the in the process of language getting delivered, or before it gets to the receiver. So noise has to be avoided. Now, how to avoid noise means you can be like, in order to avoid noise, one has to be an active listener. Pay attention to what the other person is saying. Okay, so noise has to be avoided. Language communication barriers have to be avoided in order to have, or in order to be effective communicator. Now, is it so? Means here you may look at one more thing that is added. The things which we have in the process of communication were sender, message, receiver. Then we talked about coding, encoding, and we talked about feedback system that ensures that the communication is properly done and effective communication. Then the third one is noise. Okay, so noise has to be reduced as much as possible. This communication barrier has to be avoided as much as possible in order to deliver the message crystal clear. Now, in the diagram, you see one more thing that is added. The new thing that is added here is a channel. Channel is the medium through which the message is delivered, especially in modern era. We use different communication channels to propagate the message. Okay, now one of the channels is or telecommunication, or a telephone, okay, or a web conference, or a seminar. These are all the various tools that are used to communicate, to pass on the message. Now there is a high possibility that communication barrier noise may affect this message. Okay, now sometimes there may not be any problem in delivering the message from the sender if the equipment that is transferring the message, okay, or device that is transferring the message is not functioning properly, then probably there is a problem, or there is a hindrance in communication process. Okay, like low network connectivity or low network speed may sometimes yield, sometimes result as a communication barrier. Now, in order to be an effective communicator, in order to be a very good orator, in order to be efficient in communication skills, you need to keep these points in mind. Now, what are the things that you can take care? First one is speak loudly and clearly. Let your voice tone, your modulation be audible and clear. Second, avoid any grammatical mistakes when you are communicating. Third, avoid jargons. What are jargons? Jargons are a set of words which are non-specific to one group of people. Now, if you use jargons when you're communicating, then it may misrepresent, it may give wrong or not wrong, but the other person may not understand. Now, to have a clear understanding of what jargon is, let us take an example. Now, for instance, there is some problem with your TV, okay, or television set is not working properly, and you called the technician has visited your house. He had he had operated on your TV, and he looked into the components of the TV, and he says, so and so IC, so and so IC number is not functioning, and the diode is also not functioning. There is a little bit problem with the transistor, and the major motherboard also is giving trouble. So, do you think a common man will understand all these technical terms? Probably not. May or may not be. If he is from technical background, he will understand the things. What if the person is not from the technical background? Then those words will be alien for him because he knows that there is a problem with the TV. But what those technical terms which the technician has used may not be clear to a common man. Okay, so rather than what should a good technician do, he should explain that there is a problem with two or three components which are responsible for the display of the TV, and those components are not properly functioning, and if those components are replaced, then it will solve all the problem. As simple as that. So in order to be effective communicator, okay, you have to avoid jargons. So what are jargons? Jargons are set of words known to a specific group or community. Okay, so always remember, when you communicate, communication has to be from listener's point of view, not from speaker's point of view. And that's where it is important. Always we need to get down to the level of listener. Audience have to be always kept in mind. Okay, receiver of the message has to be kept in mind when you are communicating. But if you keep this simple one point in mind, you will be a very effective communicator. Now, things will not change suddenly. Everything needs some time. Okay, consistent practice is the demand of hour. You need to have a consistent practice. Okay, be conscious of your voice, be conscious of your sentence structures, and give yourself a feedback. Don't worry about what is really good. Okay, focus more on what can be improved. And this small interception of your communication skills will help you a lot to evolve as a good communicator.